Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into an absolutely wild saga that just rocked the tech world. We're talking about Anthropic's latest, highly anticipated AI release, a model that survived for a mere 3 days in the wild before vanishing completely. It's a high-stakes tech thriller involving cybersecurity, anonymous hackers, and some truly unprecedented government intervention. So, let's break it all down step by step.
Okay, picture this. It's the weekend, you've just shelled out for a shiny new Claude Pro subscription, mainly because you have major FOMO. You want to try out Fable 5, the model everyone has been raving about for the last 72 hours. You log in, eager to push its limits, and suddenly, you're locked out. You're hit with a disappointing message, and Fable is simply gone. No real explanation, no warning, just vanished. And instead of getting access to the brilliant, cutting-edge Fable 5, you and countless other developers are immediately forced to use the older, noticeably less capable Opus 4.8 model. As you can probably imagine, this caused an immediate uproar in the software development community. Opus 4.8 is a fine model, but compared to Fable 5, users were jokingly calling it negative IQ. But why did this happen? To understand why everyone got demoted, we have to look at how Fable was actually born.
Section 1. The Twins. Mythos versus Fable.
See, Anthropic didn't just build one AI model this spring. They built two identical twins with completely different functional purposes. First, you have Mythos 5. This is the raw, unmuzzled model boasting the absolute strongest cybersecurity capabilities on the market today. Then you have Fable 5. And here is the fascinating part. They have the exact same brain. The linear algebra running under the hood, totally identical. But Fable 5 is bolted down with intense safety classifiers and guardrails. Essentially, Anthropic built this hyper-intelligent AI, gave one version to the public with a massive child lock installed, and kept the unmuzzled version totally hidden. That unmuzzled version, Mythos 5, was kept behind a highly restricted access program called Glasswing that was only available to deeply trusted partners, including major corporations and the US government itself. Why? Well, because Anthropic recognized that in the wrong hands, the raw power of Mythos 5 could easily be turned into a massive cyber weapon. Imagine asking an AI to write a script that fundamentally disrupts global banking infrastructure. Mythos might actually do it. Fable, on the other hand, was designed to catch that malicious request and safely reroute you to a much dumber, more wholesome response from Opus 4.8. And the speed at which this tech thriller unfolded is literally dizzying. Let's look at the timeline. April 7th, Mythos 5 is released privately through that Glasswing program. Fast forward to early June, and Fable 5, the safe twin, goes public to hundreds of millions of users overnight. It's a massive success. But then, on June 10th, that illusion of safety shatters. A jailbreak is posted online, and by Friday at exactly 5:21 p.m., the United States government forcefully intervenes.
Section 2. Breaking the child lock.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is how exactly someone bypassed a sophisticated child lock that Anthropic spent millions developing. Enter an anonymous internet user who goes by the handle Plenty the Liberator. This is a notorious figure, famous for poking holes in AI safety systems. Plenty claimed to have popped Fable's guardrails wide open. Now, rather than getting bogged down in dense coding jargon, the easiest way to understand this exploit is through a money laundering analogy. Just as a criminal breaks down large, suspicious sums of cash into small, innocent-looking transactions to fool a bank, Plenty broke down malicious code requests to fool Fable's safety classifiers. Let's walk through the exact steps of this digital money laundering. Step 1, you break dirty, malicious requests into very small, seemingly harmless fragments. Step 2, you disguise those fragments by wrapping them in weird, obscure Unicode characters. Step 3, you confuse the model's safety systems by embedding these fragments within a massive, complex roleplay conversation. It's a technique some call roleplay farming. And by using this, Plenty the Liberator completely bypassed the thousands of hours Anthropic's internal red teaming unit spent trying to bulletproof the model. In just a few hours, a single user turned the publicly available Fable 5 right back into the dangerous cyberweapon it was specifically designed not to be. Section 3. The unprecedented government ban. At first, Anthropic was actually asked to voluntarily take the model down to fix the exploit, but they refused. Then the hammer fell. At exactly 5:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Friday, a letter landed on Anthropic's desk. And this wasn't just a complaint from a disgruntled user. This was an official export control directive directly from the United States government, signed by Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. The core rule of this directive was absolute. Quote, no foreign national may access Fable 5 or Mythos 5. We are impartially reporting the facts here, but the sheer gravity of this national security intervention really cannot be overstated. It is an incredibly sweeping mandate.
Now, what's truly wild is the sweeping scope of that ban. It didn't just block foreign nationals living abroad. It blocked foreign nationals currently living inside the US. And most crazily, it legally barred Anthropic's very own foreign-born employees from touching the models. Prominent AI researchers on Anthropic's staff, like Andre Karpeffi, who recently joined the team, were suddenly and legally prohibited from using the exact product they had literally just helped build. Faced with a severe legal directive that fractured their own engineering team, Anthropic really only had one choice. They had to hit the big red button. They pulled the plug entirely, yanking both Fable and Mythos offline for everybody. This marks the very first time in history that a major AI company has pulled a live, public model off the shelf purely because the federal government ordered them to do so.
Section 4. The developer fallout.
As you can guess, the immediate aftermath has been incredibly messy. Developer frustration is at an all-time high. Users are really angry about being stuck with the older Opus 4.8 model. Furthermore, this sudden yank amplified existing suspicions within the community that Anthropic had been intentionally degrading the performance of its models on certain AI research jobs without disclosing it. And, perhaps most intriguingly, the rumors are absolutely flying. Some in the software community are speculating, and to be clear, this is pure speculation, that this entire 3-day saga might have been a calculated stunt. The theory goes that Anthropic wanted to prompt government regulation to build a regulatory moat around their business, inflating their value right before an IPO by proving their tech is so dangerous that the government has to regulate it. Regardless of the intent, Anthropic is currently tied up in immense regulatory red tape. And their competitors? They're circling like sharks. Leaked benchmarks suggest that the European AI firm Mistral might already have a countermodel ready to strike that outperforms Fable. On top of that, everyone is still eagerly awaiting new, unrestricted releases from heavyweights like OpenAI and Google. We've covered a lot of ground today, from hidden glasswing models to digital money laundering, right up to sweeping federal interventions. And it leaves us with one massive, provocative question. What does this precedent mean for the future of public AI? If an anonymous user can break thousands of hours of safety testing in an afternoon, resulting in the government rapidly curb-stomping the innovation 3 days later, is this the new normal? Are we entering an era where our most powerful technological advancements will be continually pulled from our hands in the name of national security? I'll leave you to ponder that. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.